Hey guys, this is Zlewikk and welcome back to our videos about Tinto Talks. So, official dev diaries for a game that is not yet announced. It's called Project Ceasar, but we all know by now that it is EU5. After really interesting last couple of weeks dev diaries, today we're gonna discuss about country types and most importantly about countries that are not essentially countries because they're just a standing army or a country without a land. Let's take a look at this. So they're saying that previously country was a country and none of the other grand strategy games have different types of it. Soon in CK3 there will be landless playable characters, but that's not the topic of this dev diary. So a country type, we've got 4 different types of them. There's a settled country, there's an army-based country, there's extraterritorial country, and finally a society of pops. They were also planning a navy-based country type, but they're not really seeing it yet. So a settled country, these are countries that are based on owning locations. This function the same as you would expect a country to work in, let's say, EU4. These countries own land, they build buildings, have coasts, raise armies, etc. Boring stuff. Army-based countries. This type of country is very similar to the location-based countries with a few differences. While they can still do everything that a location-based country does, they also have one strong advantage and a strong disadvantage in a comparison. The advantage is the fact that as long as they have an army, then the country will still continue to exist, which we used to simulate among the other things. So technically, even if that country loses their lands, it still exists with the army. The disadvantage, depending on your point of view, is that if the country does not have an army at all, it can shatter into multiple places. Many of the step hordes at the start of the game are ABC, which fits nice into their other mechanics. Yes, I do like acronym ABC to army-based countries. Okay, so because of the step hordes are nomadic and they're not really settled, they're just moving around and are based mainly on their army. How about extraterritorial countries? That's interesting. These are countries that are based around the buildings they own. They can't own land directly, but can have subjects that own land. Their buildings often have pops directly linked to the building, and those pops are also tied to the country. One risk with them is that they need to keep positive relations with the places they are buildings in, or they might not be able to survive. And obviously, the easiest example of this kind of the country is the Hanseatic League, various banks, holy orders, and Hanseatic League holdings in 1337. There are many types of playable entities that we simulate with these systems, and here are a few of them. First of all, banking countries. So there are a few at the start, including Perusia and Bardi. Later into the game we'll also get the Fugars. They have main offices in the certain cities and have the possibility to build more branches around the world. So it's also based not on a location, a country, but more on the buildings. And it's interesting, so technically you can play as the Fugars or like Peruzzi, and built in Warsaw, built in Constantinople, etc. I'm looking forward to see how it works. Other countries can request loans from them, and they also have the diplomatic ability to take over any estate loan that a country has and force that country to pay interest to them instead. They also have far lower interest rates on their estate loans, so they can easily become rich from other countries' debts. Banking traditions, income from melting, total loan capacity, unlocks take over loan. This is an advance only available for banking countries. So, if you want to play EU5 and you're like, I don't want to just play standard game of building buildings, expanding, taking locations, I'm gonna try the Fugger banks this day. That's gonna be interesting type of the gameplay. And it really opens a lot of new ways to approach a grand strategy game. Trade companies. During the Age of Reformation you can set up the trade companies in overseas places, which also be a good subject to get a trade going to benefit their overlord. We'll go into more detail about this in the later Tinto Talks. Instead of just clicking a button about a trade company in a province like in EU4, this will be a completely separate entity. Yeah, the Hanseatic League itself, that is building-based country which has a few subjects that are normal land-owning countries. This is a playable country from the start, and one that is really fun if you want to focus on purely trading game. I know a lot of people that would love it. We also have Holy Orders as a building-based type of a country, and why I can't go into details about it at this point. At the start of the game, the daimyos of Japan are used in the building-based country mechanic as well. That's really interesting. The shogunate will be based on this. And that may be actually an improvement to EU4. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments. Okay, last one. Society of the Pops. What the hell is that? Apparently, according to this, it's the hardest, one of the most challenging countries to play as in the game, because you don't have most of the mechanics, so it might be also boring or more challenging because of that. You only know land, and your country existence is purely based on the pops associated with you. So, you know, you don't have provinces, you don't have buildings. Most of this kind of societies do not have advances to even tax stuff, have laws on construct cities. A lot of the world has different societies of pops, where larger groups of people live, but are on the fringe of more organized and advanced states. The new world, there are a mixture of settled countries and society of pops, so this will be used a lot for the natives in the new world. These types of countries can migrate their pops from one province to another over time, and they can also force the allegiance of pops to change to them through warfare with another society. The borders between different societies and even settled countries are extremely fluid, and they can be in the same location as either of them. So they'll be able to raise levies from their pops, and their armies can live off land anywhere, gathering some small amount of food from any type of the land. Their armies can also force any pop of their culture and religion to swear allegiance to this specific society. So that's kind of fun of this gameplay that you might have. You know, if you start getting colonized by, let's say, Portugal or Castile, you can actually force them through fighting for a peace deal and cancel the colonial charters, so you will be able to defend from colonizers. A settled country can in a war force a society of pops to abandon pops that they own, and if they no longer own any pops, the society will no longer be an existing country. A society of pops can attempt to settle if they achieve certain advances, so yeah, you can go ahead and advance and settle, after which they will take control over all locations where they have pops and are the dominant culture and religion, so same as the colonization last week, and then becomes a settled country. Currently though, the gameplay experience is not where you want it, and unless that is improved by beta, they are very likely to be AI only at release. I believe in you, Johan, you can make it playable. Here's the Kven people that have settled. That's in Sweden, right? And to clarify, societies of peoples and army-based countries have always to become settled countries through mechanics. But there are no other normal ways of changing country types except through special events. Stay tuned as next we will go more into the buildings that you can build outside of your own country. Alright, I think this is an improvement, and that is the kind of an improvement I was looking for. I'm not this certain, but I was, you know, making a new grand strategy game like EU5 on top of EU4, it's not only about increasing performance, adding more nations, add more provinces, changing start date, but also add a lot of new mechanic that is gonna make the game even more fun. And I think this type of the different countries than we know from the previous EU games is an amazing improvement, because it is gonna increase the replayability of the game, right? Already EU4 has huge replayability, which is mainly through a lot of content, mission trees, etc. But also adding completely different gameplay types is gonna give way more replayability to this game. So if you guys were thinking, oh, EU5 is gonna be bare bones, boring shit, maybe this is gonna convince you that it's going to the right direction. We're still in the development phase, so of course this will keep improving. Okay, let's take a look at the comment section. Anything interesting there? So a guy is saying that Society of Pops should be renamed to Stateless Society. Yeah, it is a known name from EU4, and the guy believes that they always should be visible on the map, like in the Wiki 3 with the centralized countries. But Johan is saying it will be really hard because they very often overlap with settled countries. Can you simply destroy a building of extraterritorial country in your domain, or do you need to wage a war like in CK2 to destroy trade posts? War in most of the cases. I hope that this system becomes the standard for future PDX games. And Johan saying, will be will be for those we make at Tinto at least. I'm always telling you that Tinto is just another quality. You mentioned peace tables. Will we talk about how peace mechanics wars work soon? I hope this game doesn't go the way Victoria 3 went, where you can only make demands at the start of the war for some reason, since that neither feels good nor feels historical. And Johan's saying this will be similar to EU4, Imperator and Wiki 2. And obviously there are love reacts. This is a very interesting iteration of country system. Can ABC also become settled like Society of Pops? ABC that are steppe nomads have a way to become location-based monarchies. Okay guys, I think that's gonna be it for today. I just read through a couple of comments. It's 3:30. And again, let me know in comments guys, what do you think about this? I already told you my opinion. And obviously if you did enjoy this quick dev diary, let me know by liking this video and obviously subscribe to the channel to get notified about next week dev diary, which was about what? I already forgot. Oh yeah, buildings outside of your own country. See you there.